Welcome to the heart of the matter. Today we're talking about the subject so dear to so many people's hearts, the subject of exam malpractices. And with me as our guest is Mr. Ojoma Ochai. He is the Director of Public Affairs of an NGO which is called Exam Ethics Marshals International. You're very welcome to the program, Ojoma. Exam malpractice is something that Nigerians are very concerned about. And obviously, it is your concern that has brought you into it. Tell us how you got into this subject of exam malpractices.
It actually started as a personal experience. Okay. See, when our chairman, when he is a consultant, and it happened that sometime in doing his official work, one of his employees didn't come to work. And on investigation, it was discovered that
I don't know, they're just lazy.
Encourage people to read more, and the security in the examination should be tight. So they won't be able to even move their neck. Everybody concentrate on their work. Or the spacing between a student and another should be a little bit.
Yes, I agree with that too. They should just encourage the students to read more. The students should love what they are doing. They should know what they are doing. They should be willing to study more. That's the only surest way to eradicate.
Well, examination malpractice exists in different forms. You see situation whereby people comes into examination hall with microchips. People go as far as having stores on their mobile phone and things like that. Well, in electronic means and in different forms. So you can be sure that examination malpractice exists. People tend to put up with lazy attitude. You see, when you don't prepare for an exam and you want to pass at all costs, that is why people go into examination malpractice. You see, another thing is because of the fear of failure. I've just talked about laziness, and fear of failure also is a factor contributing to examination malpractice.
Examination malpractice is not a problem of today. It has existed looking at the recent past in Nigerian history, and it's no longer seen as an evil, so to say, or a corrupt practice. You see students coming in with make-up answers into the examination halls, despite the penalties that have been, put in place by the school authorities. There's no fear again for that. I think what I would say is that students don't have the reading culture to sit down and study. Because if a student sits down and study his or her book, what's the reason for carrying a microchip or a macrochip into the examination hall? In the days of our fathers, it wasn't like that. People simply sit down, study very hard, and go to the examination, face it as it is, and come out honorably.
Welcome back to the heart of the matter, where we're talking about exam malpractices in Nigeria, and with me is my guest, Mr. Ojoma Ochai. He is the director of exam ethics marshals in Nigeria. And just before we went on break, we were talking about how marshals, ethics marshals, go to people's homes. Now, what role do marshals play at the institutions themselves during exam time? Is there a role that marshals can play?
Yeah, sure. First of all, for a marshal to go to an exam hall, you wear a vest, written exam marshal. That alone puts fear. As soon as in some schools where we've gone, the sight of exam marshals alone puts people on check. If in the course of supervising and they discover that, look, somebody is cheating, what they need to do is hand over the person to security operatives. That is where our job is done. So, but in most cases, we have once in a while we've followed up with such cases, depending on how peculiar the case is. We could follow up with security agencies to know how far the matter is being taken. But ours is just to point out to the entire masses, to point out to security operatives that something wrong is happening here, and then it's not left for them to take it up from there.
Now, if you go into an institution and it just happens to be a special center,
Yes.
and so everybody is working in the syndicate, what would the marshal do?
The marshal will raise an alarm.
Okay.
He raise an alarm. In most cases, we get accreditation anyway. So he raise an alarm. When I mean raising an alarm, he try to either make calls, assuming there are no security operatives there. He try to make calls. He try to contact with other fellow marshals, depending on where they are, so that the security operatives could come. It has been done before, which was widely seen on the tele when people were caught in a particular room, and in fact, then the JAMB registrar was also involved, and he was involved in that particular one, saw it live, and then they were handed over to the security operatives.
Now, exam ethics marshals have been in operation for about how long?
We started in 1996.
Okay, so that's over a decade.
Yeah, sure.
And in that time, we're still seeing the numbers going up. In May, June this year, at the school certificate exam, 615,000 cases were recorded of exam malpractice, while it was 439,000 same time last year. So it's going up in spite of all your efforts. So obviously there's more that can be done. What else do you think can be done?
That's why we are raising marshals, so that everybody will be involved in trying to provide a solution. But the truth of the matter is, beyond that, we need to look at our value system. The value system has gone down.
We need to get more people becoming marshals, and any viewer that wants to become a marshal can contact you,
Yeah, sure.
and is able to become a marshal. And then we've got to get the value system changed. How do you think we can go about addressing the value system? What are the methods that you would do?
First, talking to parents. We've tried to get programs where we talk to parents. Some of them who will not go through this program, we've tried to. We're involved in publications. We actually have a book that is strictly talking to parents what to do, what not to do. We also have CDs, DVDs, and now we want to. Of recent, we are getting involved with some Hollywood actors and actresses to put a picture behind what we're talking about. That way it could be able to sink, because of course we know a lot of young people watch movies, and so we also want to put these role models behind the picture, so that they will be able, the students and the youth will be able to see the consequences, and then of course the benefits, because the damage is huge. But the truth of the matter is, beyond that, there is also the good aspect of what we are doing. What we need to do is, what we are doing is to show, okay, if you don't do this, you could benefit from this. If you don't get involved in exam malpractice, you can actually be who God designed you to be.
Do you see an end to this problem in the immediate future?
In the immediate future, no. But what we are talking about is huge. But what we've been able to do is to raise the attention of everybody, including stakeholders, that look at it, there's a big problem. The problem of exam malpractice in Nigeria is more dangerous than HIV. And because, like I've said before, the problems we are having in larger society all came as a result of exam malpractice. Bad bridges, bad buildings, wrong medical attention, everything came as a result of those who did not go through a proper training. And so at the end of the day, because if you start by exam malpractice and you're able to leave school, you discover that every other thing you're looking for, every other thing you want to do, you want to go through the shortcuts, because you have been trained to do that. But I believe that will be a light at the end of the tunnel if all of us come together, if all of us put our hands together, if all the marshals actually do the things they are supposed to do. We want to, by the end of 2014, raise about 1 million marshals. Okay. And we believe that if we have 1 million marshals, we should be able to go in there in the homes, we should be able to go in there in schools, we can go into offices, and then educate everybody. Because at times it beats my imagination. That some people will say, "Oh, we've not heard." So what we want to do, we want everybody to hear, we want everybody to know the problem, we want everybody to know there is a solution, and so that you know the role you're supposed to play as an individual. And then, of course, the issue of corruption. Now, when you hear corruption on a daily basis, what message are you sending out there? So it's the effect is so much. But what we want to do is, we want to also begin to celebrate those who are doing the right thing. It's not always negative reports, it's not always the things that are not being done. One of the things we want to start doing is, there are few in these exam bodies, there are few in institutions, there are few everywhere who are actually doing the correct thing. We want to showcase them. We want the children to see them. We want the children to know that, look, these people are doing the right thing, and that is you need to be celebrated when you're doing the right thing. Maybe that way the attention or the focus will shift a little bit from the negative report to the positive side of the report. That way, probably there could be effects around the society, but then all hands need to be on deck. All hands.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Viewers, we need to kill this cancer of exam malpractice because it's killing our nation. And so there's much that you can do. Even if you don't become a marshal, and I think if you have the time, join. But even if you don't become a marshal, you can talk about it. You can tell your neighbors, your friends, why it is wrong for anybody to achieve anything through shortcuts without actually learning. We're really happy you were able to come to be with us on the Heart of the Matter, and we look forward to seeing you again, and count me in. If I can be a marshal, I want to be a marshal.
Oh, great.
God bless you. Viewers, we'll be back again same time next week, so see you then. God bless.
It's a pitiable situation where students don't read again. They're just loitering about. You can see them. We are about 3 weeks to exams. You can't see seriousness in the atmosphere. They're just gallivanting and all the rest of them.
I think it's because most of students of nowadays, they don't have the reading culture.
I feel everyone has been brought up with the thought that, with the concept that exam malpractice is wrong morally. But sometimes students feel their exam malpractice is excusable because they find themselves in situations whereby they are forced, they feel they are compelled to get themselves involved in exam malpractice because nobody wants to fail.
There's not much supervision on the lecturers, so they can do anything. They cannot come, they cannot teach well, they may not be able to give lecture notes to the students, some of that in child.
Yeah, after reading, some students have this inferiority complex, which they don't think what they've read is what is going to come out. So they actually prepare for the unseen.
There should be serious measures put in place to checkmate examination malpractice.